Hey there fellow musician, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I want to show you guys how to use Aurora. This is a reverb plugin from iZotope. By the way, this is a special request from one of our subscribers, and thank you again Bill for requesting the tutorial. So let's just get straight into it then. Shout out to Bill. For the first hack, I'm going to show you guys how to use the plugin on vocals to make sure that you get the right amount of depth without adding any mud to your vocals. So let's check out the before and after, and then I'll explain the settings later on.
Freedom of mind, these are the things we should hope for. Love, happiness, freedom of mind, these are the things we should hope for. Love, happiness, freedom of mind, these are the things we should hope for. Love, happiness, freedom of mind, these are the things we should hope for. Love, happiness, freedom of mind, these are.
So as you can hear, the unmask feature helps the vocals cut through the mix without being muddied by the reverb effect. For the settings, we have a small filter at around 14 kilohertz to make sure that we don't get too much brightness from the reverb, and then we have a little bit of brightness just to help the vocals cut through the mix, and then a little bit of pre-delay to make sure that the transients don't get affected by the reverb. This will help the vocals sit up front in the mix. For the unmask settings, we have a fast attack to make sure that we tame down the transient of the reverb so that it doesn't muddy the vocals. And then we also have a medium to slower release to make sure that it affects the entire decay of the words from the vocals. For the sensitivity effect, I would recommend having it at around 100% if you're working on a mix that is too busy or dense. But if your mix is sparse and more open, then you can use a lower sensitivity. And that's it for the settings. Let's check out how you can use the reverb on other instruments as well for different effects. I want to show you guys how to add more depth and more warmth to your synthesizers to make sure that they sound much more richer. So let's check it out. As you can hear, we're adding more depth and more warmth to the synth chords to make sure that they sound much more richer and thicker in the mix. This will add more weight to your synth sounds. As you can see, we don't have the masking feature for this one. We only change the tone of the reverb to make it more darker so that it sounds much more thicker. And then we also have a filter at around 3 kilohertz to make sure that we only add reverb on the lower mid-range frequencies without affecting the higher frequencies. So we don't want to add more brightness to the sound. And as you can see, I have a longer decay time for these synth chords since they are sustained. But if they were not sustained, then I would obviously lower the decay. And that's it for the settings, really straightforward. And we're also using a hall just to make sure that we get a thicker sound. That's it for the settings. And then let's move on to another hack. For this one, I'm going to show you how to use Aurora effect to widen your guitars. So if you want to make your guitars sound much more wider, this is how you do it. Let me show you that the guitars sound much more narrow. When I engage the plugin, you'll see the spectrum become much more wider. Check it out. So as you can see, the guitars now sound much more wider. So let's do the before and after, and then I'll talk about the settings later on. As you can hear, the guitars sound much more open and much more wider, which helps them sit perfectly in the mix. So for the settings, we have the width knob very high, and then we have a little bit of pre-delay just to make sure that the little bit of transients from the guitar are not affected by the reverb. This helps the guitar cut through the mix, because if you make them too wide, they might struggle to cut through the mix. And then we have a medium to short decay time. And then I also added a little bit of brightness just to help the guitars cut through the mix. So that's it for the settings. Very, very basic and straightforward. And those are the 3 hacks. That's how you use Aurora, just in an advanced way. And then if you're still here, then here's an extra tip for you guys to help you get your snare drums to sound much more brighter and cut through the mix using Reverb. As you can see, we have the plate for this one, and then we have a pre-delay just to make sure that the transients are not affected, and then a shorter decay time, and then we added a bit of brightness just to add some more presence to the snare drum. And then that's it for today's video. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and please leave a comment, guys. Feel free to request tutorials. I'll try my best to create those tutorials for you guys. And if you have any questions, then let me know. If you want more hacks, make sure that you check out my previous video about how to use Plasma to take your mixes to the next level. Take good care of yourself. Cheers.